minute. Okay, so let's start. Oh my Jnana. Let's do the prayers and then the chanting. Let me share the screen. And we have Kahoot also today, so we'll try to wrap up by 9. So are you able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So who's going to lead the 21 times of chanting today? Is it Varun, Aditya, Shaurya, Shruti, or who's that? The other one I'm not able to see. Who wants to do the 21 times of chanting? Everyone can follow you. Chanting is the one solution for all the problems. It's a way to connect with Krishna. It surely works. Krishna puts all his energy in his holy name. And so it's very, very important to chant every day and connect to the Lord. Is there anyone? Who wants to chant 21 times? Vikyat, Aditya, Varun, Shaurya. And we have Sri Lasya joining in, Srinidhi. The last call. Anyone wants to chant 21 times? Is Vrinda there, Mataji? Vrinda wants to chant? Or maybe she's taking dinner. Okay.
Mataji, yes, Mataji. She will chant, Mataji.
Okay. So Vrinda is going to chant.
Chanting. Hare Krishna. First day Sri Krishna you say and chant. Hare Krishna chant.
Yeah, 21 times, Vrinda. You can count in your fingers. We are going to chant 21 times with focus and attention, and everyone is going to chant along with you. But
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Devadari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Yes, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare
Sorry to interrupt you, Brinda. So nice chanting. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Mataji, I did not count. That's why I allowed her to do until you stop it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It was very, very good chanting. We felt so good hearing your chanting and chanting along with you. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol to Brinda. Okay, so today we are going to see 14th chapter. So we have covered so far so many verses. So we are going to repeat the verses that we learned in the 14th chapter. So who can recite the first verse of 14th chapter, which starts with Sri Bhagavan Vacha.
Can I try, Mataji? This is Prahlad.
Yes, Prahlad.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha Paramudhyashnam Uttamam Yajna Sarve Param Siddhim Mito Gataha.
Very good, Prahlad. Can you say the meaning?
Should I do the translation?
Yes.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection."
Wonderful. Thank you, Prahlad. Okay. Anyone wants to chant the second verse? Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. Yes, Varun. Yes, Varun.
Okay. Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Mutaya Sambhavantiya Tasam Brahma Mahadhyona Aham Bija Pradatita.
Very good, Varun. Can you say the translation?
It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father.
Wonderful, Varun. Hari Bol. So today we are going to learn 14.5. So this is the shloka. We straight away go to the shloka. Sattvam rajastama iti. Who's going to repeat? Everyone can unmute and repeat. Sattvam rajastama iti.
Sattvam rajastama iti.
Sattvam rajastama iti.
Guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Gunaha prakriti sambhavaha.
Guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Okay, now the two lines together. Sattvam rajastamayiti guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Sattvam rajastama iti. Gunaha prakriti sambhavaha.
Very good. Once more. Sattvam rajastamayiti guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Sattvam rajastama iti. Gunaha prakriti sambhavaha.
Nibadhanti mahabaho.
Nibadhanti mahabaho.
Nibadhanti mahabaho.
Nibadhanti mahabaho.
Dehe dehi namavyayam.
Dehe dehi namavyayam.
Dehe dehi namavyayam.
Dehe
Dehi namavyayam.
Sattvam rajastamayiti guna prakriti sambhavaha. Nibadhanti mahabaho. Dehe dehi namavyayam.
rajastama iti. Guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Nibadhanti mahabaho dehe dehi namavyayam.
Very good, Prahlad and Srinidhi. Okay, the last time. Sattvam rajastamayiti guna prakriti sambhavaha. Nibadhanti mahabaho. Dehe dehi namavyayam.
Sattvam rajastamayiti guna
Sattvam rajastama iti. Guna prakriti sambhavaha. Tesham nibadhanti mahabaho.
dehe dehi namavyayam.
Very good. Thank you. So now let's do the synonyms. I'm going to ask you in English and Sanskrit, and let's see who can answer. So, O mighty armed one.
Mahabaho.
Good job, Vikyat. Eternal.
Avyayam.
Good job, Srinidhi and Vikyat. The qualities. Good job, Srinidhi.
Guna.
Guna. Okay. Do condition.
Nibadhanti.
Good job, Srinidhi. The mode of ignorance.
Tama.
Good job, Vikyat. The mode of goodness.
Sattvam.
Sattvam.
Good job. The living entity.
Jiva. Wait.
Prakriti. Dehinam. Dehinam.
Good job, Varun. Thus.
Iti.
Good job, Sri Lasya. The qualities.
Gunaha.
Very good. Prahlad. Produced of.
Sambhavaha.
Good job, Vikyat. In this body.
Dehi.
Dehe.
Good job. And material nature.
Prakriti.
Prakriti.
Good job. The living entity.
Dehinam.
Dehinam.
Okay. Do condition.
Nibadhanti.
Okay.
Okay. O mighty armed one.
Mahabaho.
Mahabaho.
Good job. Okay, so now you need to tell me the meaning of one line. Okay, Sattvam Rajas Tama Iti. What is the meaning of this?
Can I try,
That-
Mataji? Can I try?
Yes, Prahlad.
It's like about it tells about the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance, and how they are the three modes of material
Iti
nature.
is thus. Okay. Goodness, passion, the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, thus. That's the meaning of the first line. The second one. Guna Prakriti Sambhavaha.
Can I, Mataji?
Yes, Vikyat.
The qualities are produced of material nature.
That's perfect, Vikyat. Very, very good job. So we just align the words in such a way that makes sense in English, right? Nibadnati Mahabaho. Who wants to say this? Sri Lasya, do you want to Nibadnanti Mahabaho. Just the meaning of this two.
Produced do condition almighty armed one.
Perfect, Sri Lasya. Very, very good. Okay. Then the last line. Dehe Dehinam Avyayam. Vikyat?
The living in this body, the living entity is eternal.
Okay, very good. The eternal living entity who's in this body. Okay. Can you read the translation, Vikyat?
Sure, Mataji. Translation. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with nature, Almighty Armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes.
Okay, thank you. So my statement is the living entity is temporary. True or false?
Oh,
Correct my statement, Varun. Can you correct my statement? I said that the living entity is temporary. I think Varun is busy. Okay, who else can do that? Shaurya?
Mataji, I'm eating right now.
Okay, okay. So anyone else who's free, who can correct my statement? The living entity is temporary. Vikyat?
sure, Mataji. The living entity is eternal.
Very, very good. Okay. So the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, constitute what?
They constitute the living entity.
Nope. Nope. Sorry, wrong answer.
Material nature consists of these three modes.
Very good, Vikyat. So the three modes of nature are making the material nature up. Our material nature consists of these three modes of nature. So when does the living entity becomes conditioned by these modes? Can anyone answer from the translation? What is the time or when does a living entity become conditioned by these modes? No one?
I can, Mataji.
Yes, go ahead, Vikyat.
Can I try?
I already said okay to Vikyat. I'm sorry, Prahlad, I'll give the next one.
He becomes conditioned by these three modes when he comes in contact with nature.
Oh, very, very good. Thank you, Vikyat. So, when the eternal living entity comes in contact with material nature, which is consisting of goodness, passion, and ignorance, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Conditioned means he becomes ruled. He's covered. He is like a puppet by these modes. Okay. Why is this is a little high level question. Let me see who can answer this. Why is Arjuna being addressed as mighty armed here? He could have said Nibadnanti Kaunteya.
Maybe I'm just taking a guess, Mataji, but it's because he was really strong that he didn't get conditioned by the three modes, even though he was in nature.
Yeah, that's a good, a very good answer, Vikyat. Yes. In other words, he's also saying to Arjuna, you might be mighty armed. Maybe personally Arjuna was a little bit conditioned by ignorance, right? In the beginning, that's why he was lamenting. He did not want to do his duty. So Krishna made that happen so that we will get this Bhagavad Gita, right? So Krishna is saying, although you may be mighty armed, Arjuna, you cannot condition the modes of nature, but the modes of nature will condition you when you come in contact with the material nature. So that is the shloka. So who can read the slide? Anyone who has not answered so far? Okay, if not, anyone is fine. Vikyat, do you want to read?
Sure, Mataji.
Okay.
The living entity, because he is transcendental, has nothing to do with this material nature. Still, because he has become conditioned by the material world, he is acting under the spell of the three modes of material nature. Because living entities have different kinds of bodies, in terms of the different aspects of nature, they are induced to act according to that nature. This is the cause of the varieties of happiness and distress.
Thank you, Vikyat. So how the living entities is becoming conditioned? Krishna is saying living entity is transcendental. Can anyone say the meaning of transcendental?
Can I try, Mataji?
Yes, Prahlad.
Transcendental means like you transcend something.
Yes. What is it? What does the living entity transcend?
He transcends the material modes of nature.
Very good, Prahlad. So basically, the living entity is transcendental and is beyond the material modes of nature. But how he is conditioned then? Because when he comes in this material world, he is conditioned by the three modes of material nature. Although the living entity, the soul is transcendental, because he has taken on a material body, so he is conditioned. So that is why the body, according to what swabhava, what nature and what body they have, the living entity acts accordingly. So when he is put in the body of a dog, then he barks. When he is put in the body of a parrot, then what does he do?
Repeats whatever he hears.
Yes, Hare Krishna, and keep on flying, and the feathers, the beautiful colors. And then when he is put in the body of say rhinoceros, then he acts like a rhinoceros, right? With a horn and running around for prey. And then the next time when he is put in the body of a demigod, he acts as a demigod. He cannot act otherwise. Then when he is put in the body of a mouse or a rat, he acts like that. So that is called as conditioning. So this conditioning, Krishna explains nicely that the human beings, out of all the 8,400,000 species of life, the human being is in the blossomed state of consciousness, which is suited for spiritual life. Okay, so I'm going to since this is a memorization verse, but it says about goodness, passion, and ignorance, which is the next 3 verses. So I just added those slides also. So for us, we can understand clearly about each mode. Okay, who can read this? Srilasya, if you're free, can you read this?
Sure, Mataji. From the best examples, right?
No, from beginning, mode of goodness.
Oh, okay. Mode of goodness, purer than the others, is illuminating, frees one from all sinful reactions, conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. The best examples are the scientist and the philosopher. Each is very proud of his knowledge, and because they are generally improved their living conditions, they feel a sort of material happiness. This sense of advanced happiness in conditional life makes them bound by the mode of goodness and material nature. As such, they are attracted toward working in the mode of goodness, and as long as they have an attraction for working in that way, they have to take some type of body in the modes of nature. Thus, there is no likelihood of liberation or of being transferred to the spiritual world. Repeatedly, one may become a philosopher, a scientist, or a poet. Repeatedly become entangled in the same disadvantages of birth and death. But due to the illusion of the material energy, one thinks that sort of life is pleasant.
Thank you, Srilasya. Okay, who can tell me a few qualities of mode of goodness?
Can I, Mataji, tell one?
Yes, Vikya.
One is that the people in that mode are conditioned by their advanced sense of happiness.
Very good, Vikya. Yes. So they're conditioned by their advanced sense of happiness. And what are the examples of these people who are generally in the mode of goodness?
Scientist and philosopher.
Yes, thank you, Shaurya. So scientist and the philosopher, and they are doing good work, right? Scientist is discovering so many things. So he need to keep constantly thinking, okay, how to improve the material condition. And philosopher also, gives a good, increase the standard of living, gives good food for thought for people. So they are in the goodness of material nature. Okay. So as Bikyat said, what is the problem? Being in the mode of goodness.
Can I answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prahlad.
That even if you're in the mode of goodness, you're still in the modes of nature. Even if though you're good, you're still not going to transcend them. You'll still be in them.
Very good. Thank you, Prahlad. Okay, anyone else can you add any point from the slide for this question? There's a particular word that why that they don't get liberated, but they don't get transferred to spiritual world.
Is it their attraction to work in the mode of goodness?
Very good, Vikyat. Yes. So they're attracted to working in the mode of goodness. And because they are working in the mode of goodness in this life, they again, and because they have the attraction for working in that way, they again the next life, they again come back and take a life and they work in the mode of goodness. And they're attracted towards working in that way. So they have a desire and karma. So again, they become scientist and philosopher or a poet, and repeatedly they take birth after birth, but they find that it is so pleasant. Why? Why do they find that sort of life is pleasant?
Because of the illusion of material energy.
Yes. So because of the illusion of material energy, Mayaya Apahrita Jnana, it says they don't want to take knowledge from Krishna and surrender to Krishna and go about the material modes of nature, but they think that this is a pleasant life in the mode of goodness. So the main point is it is purer than others, and because they are in the mode of goodness, they are freed from sinful reactions, but they are conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So what about the mode of passion? Anyone? Shaurya, are you done? Do you want to read the slide if you're free?
Yeah, I can, Mataji. So I read everything on the slide?
Yes.
Okay, the mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. For sense gratification, a man in the node of passion wants some honor in society or in the nation, and he wants to have a happy family with nice children, wife, and a house. These are the products of the mode of passion. As long as one is hankering after these things, he has to work very hard. Therefore, the whole material world is more or less in the mode of passion. Modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of the mode of passion. Formerly, the advanced condition was considered to be in the mode of goodness. If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion?
Thank you, Shaurya. So my question is, why a person has to work very hard? Why a person in passion has to work very hard?
Because he wants a lot of things.
Very good, Shaurya. Yes, he wants to have a comfortable house. And then if there is one house, then he wants second house. Then he wants one car, and then he gives it off and he gets a BMW or Tesla. And then like that, he wants to always having goal to increase the standard of his living, his family, and then his extended family. So because of his goals, he has to work very hard. Okay. What is the living entity who's in the mode of passion bound to or conditioned by? Just like the living entity, the mode of goodness is conditioned by happiness and knowledge. They don't mind, the people in the mode of goodness, they don't mind having a big house or a car and other things. But their thing is they want to be wise, they're very learned, and they want to serve the society by their knowledge. But here the person in the mode of passion is bound to what?
Honor in society, wife,
Yes.
children, and house.
Yes.
Wealth.
Very good. So bound to material fruitive actions. Because he always thinks, what do I get from there? Even if he gives charity, he says that, oh, I want to be known as a person who gives good charity. So there is always something that he has to, he has a goal to fulfill. So that is fruitive. Fruitive means what is in it for me? That only drives him to do that. Okay, there is no sense of service. And so there is unlimited desires and longings. So there's so many desires, and even one after another is getting fulfilled. He increases his desires more and more. And there is a longing. Wow, look at that person. Look at that house. That's a six bedroom house, 5,000 square feet. And I only have a 3,000 square feet house. I think I should get that. So you see, there is always longing and desires. So let's tell whether my statement is true or false. Modern civilization is in the mode of goodness. Is it?
No.
False. It's false.
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 Very good, Varun. Okay, so modern civilization is in the mode of passion, right? Because they're always comparing. People are always comparing one to another. So that's why there is entangled in the mode of passion. So is there a liberation possible for those in the mode of passion?
No.
No. Okay. Then comes the mode of ignorance. Who's going to read this?
Mataji, can I read it?
Yes, go ahead.
O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Everyone under the spell of the mode of ignorance becomes mad, and a madman cannot understand what is what. Instead of making advancement, one becomes degraded. In their madness, they are very reluctant to make advancement in spiritual understanding. Such people are very lazy. Such a man appears to be always dejected and is addicted to intoxicants and sleeping.
Yeah, you see this. That is why this is called the mode of ignorance or mode of what?
Darkness.
Darkness. So they are not even active like those in the mode of passion. So what happens? If we are in the mode of ignorance, then we are very mad. Means anger also, and also we don't tend to see what is real, what I have to do. Instead of making advancement, what happens to that person? Even socially, he become broke. He doesn't have any money. He doesn't have any food. He's very lazy, right? So that's what is binding the conditioned soul to darkness. Okay. So why are they reluctant to make advancement in spiritual understanding?
Because they're lazy.
Because they're lazy and they're mad. Also, they don't see what is the point in working hard for money. I mean, I can just beg, stand in the corner of the street, then beg some money, and then I can get what I want. They don't think that, okay, I have to work and I need to make a proper living for myself. No. So such is the effect of one in the mode of ignorance. Okay. So today we saw.
Mataji,
Yes,
I
Vikya.
have a question. So if you said in when we were talking about the mode of goodness, so like they think that working in the mode of goodness is pleasant. So when they take rebirth, like in every birth, they would become in the mode of goodness, though, right? Like,
Right.
how would they change their species?
Yeah, they don't change their species because they don't perform sinful actions. And so they always do the mode of, they come back because they're having good, they don't have any sinful reactions because they're in the mode of goodness. So they again be born in the mode of goodness.
So they don't get liberated, but they're always born as a human being or a demigod?
Yeah, human being or demigod. But sometimes it is possible that the person in the mode of goodness also, they might commit some sinful activity and then they might go into mode of passion. But right now, hardly anyone is in the mode of goodness. Even the so-called scientists and philosophers or musicians, they're all in the mode of passion or ignorance.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Oh. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vikya. So this is what we learned today, how the three modes of nature are there. Krishna says that, and then I picked up some points from the successive purports that says about goodness. The mode of goodness is purer than the others. It frees one from all sinful reactions, but conditioned by sense of happiness and knowledge. Mode of passion is having always so many desires and running towards to satisfy the desires, always in comparison. So the whole material world, modern civilization is in the mode of passion. And then ignorance is people who can't even do anything to live properly in their own life. So they are very reluctant to make advancement in spiritual understanding. Okay, so are you all ready for Kahoot?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Let me open.
What's the game pin, Mataji?
Yeah, I'm coming. Let me share the screen. Eight 4308. Aditya Kasturi, yes. For tats, Varun the Carrot, Vic, Aditya K, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at least 3 more has to join.
I'm joining, Mataji.
Okay. I don't know who's the iPad, iPhone. I don't see Srinidhi, Srilasya.
Mataji, I'm in the
Okay, you are there already. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people are there. Now 1 left. Yeah, Prahalad joined. Srilasya, do you want to join?
No, Mataji.
Okay. Anyone else is joining or shall we start?
I think we can start, Mataji. I think everyone joined.
Okay. We are missing Aditya Rajiv, Srinidhi's brother.
he couldn't attend today, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, I think everyone is there. So let's start. It's a quiz on 14.5. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiyaha. And the third line is missing actually. The fourth line is there. Aham bija pradapita is fourth line. So you need to get the third line.
It's Param Siddhi Mitokata.
No way, really?
It is Tasham Brahma Mahajani.
Some person actually put that.
Always the previous shloka, I'm going to ask you one question at least. So please memorize 14.1, 14.4 and 14.5. It's only one shloka a week and it will be easy for you to memorize that. So we have Vikyat. Okay, Vikyat, Hare Krishna, Aditya, Prey and Varun. Okay, so let's go to the next question.
Mataji, computer is really laggy.
Yeah, I know. Why? I don't know. When the eternal living entity dash, he becomes conditioned by these modes of nature.
I think it's really slow. You may want to restart it after.
So when the eternal living entity, 4 of you have got it right, comes in contact with material nature. Yes, that's the perfect thing. Although the other things are also quite near to being correct, but the perfect one from the translation is comes in contact with material nature. So Aditya Kasturi is leading now. So let's see the next. Material nature consists of
I missed quiz. I picked yellow.
So it's a little bit confusing, but 5 of you picked right. Yes, it's goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Goodness. I was gonna pick goodness, passion, and ignorance, but then I realized.
Yeah. So it has to be a little tricky, right? Otherwise, it's so easy. So Aditya is leading, and then Potat is coming, is in the 4th place. Okay. So let's go to the next 4th question. It's a multi-select question. So read all the choices and select whatever applies. Mode of goodness.
No, I almost submitted it, but I was just about to.
Okay, so mode of goodness is purer than the others and frees one from sinful reactions. Mode of goodness doesn't liberate, and it's not also materially comforting. That was not a point in the shloka or in the things that we discussed. So you need to remember what we discussed. So Aditya K is on the lead, followed by Vic, Prey, Potats, and Varun the Carrot. Okay, so the next one is a true or false question. A person in the mode of goodness is not affected by happiness and miseries. Remember and read it once again. Remember if we discussed that.
Oh, it's false.
Yes, 5 of you got it right. Yes, he is also affected by happiness and miseries. True.
They just think it's pleasant.
Yeah, they think it's pleasant, right? Yes. Although they're conditioned by the sense of happiness, they still have miseries also. Like the birth, death, that's a misery. They cannot avoid it. Aditya is the top. Srinidhi is in the board. Okay, so let's see the next question. There's a 6th question. It's a select again. The mode of passion is, it's a multi-select.
It's triangle and square.
It is not triangle and square because it's conditioned by fruitive actions and born of unlimited desires and longings.
Somebody actually picked that.
So it's not material compassion. So Aditya has a streak with 6 correct answers in a row, followed by Prahalad, Potats, Vic, and Srinidhi. Good job, everyone. 7th question is true or false. Read carefully. It's hard but not impossible for those in the mode of passion to attain liberation.
Oh, I accidentally picked false.
It is false.
It is false. Because you remember we discussed that if the person in the mode of goodness cannot attain liberation, what to speak of the person in the mode of passion? If we are in the mode of passion, we can't attain liberation. It's impossible. So it's a tricky question.
Yes, I got it.
By fluke.
That's
Okay. So, yes.
Is this like when the person in the mode of passion comes to the path of bhakti?
The person in the mode of in the passion comes to the path of bhakti. He continues to perform bhakti in the mode of passion, but slowly he has to go to the mode of goodness and perform bhakti in there, and then become transcendental and perform bhakti. Because by doing bhakti in the mode of passion, he is still advancing, but he doesn't get qualified for liberation. Okay, Vikya?
So only through bhakti he can get there. Liberation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Only by performing devotional service, slowly, one has to move up to the platform of goodness. Then from there, move up to transcendence. That we will discuss in the later shlokas.
Okay,
But being in the mode of passion and performing bhakti, he can't attain liberation, but he will advance towards the mode of goodness and then try to go beyond. Okay, so pray the winner is the first now. Potats has a streak with 3 correct answers in a row. Okay, so 8th question is also a true or false. The results of the mode of passion are indolence and sleep. Yes, it is false. So then the results of a mode of what is indolence and sleep?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Okay, so that's what we saw. The results of the mode of passion, we saw, right? It's unlimited desires and longings. They are not indolent, they're not sleepy, but they're constantly working for material gains. Okay, Aditya K is again the winner, the first person. Okay, let's go to the next quiz. It's 9 out of 10. It's a multi-select. Those in the mode of ignorance, multi-select, remember.
Oh,
Would
I
red
hope
be a
Kahoot
good
stopped
answer?
working at the
Because if
last
they're
question. My Kahoot is frozen.
Oh,
what an oof.
Now it's just randomly saying time's up.
Yeah, but your computer is really slow. It's like taking time super quickly.
I know. I think so. I don't know any.
I got it though.
Okay, so it's always dejected, becomes degraded and lazy, and of course he's affected by misery. So Aditya Potats has come first, and the scoreboard is changing so much this time.
Let's go.
Pray the winner, Vic, Aditya K, and Srinidhi. So this is the last question. It's also a true or false question. So read it carefully. We should choose those activities that puts us in the mode of passion instead of ignorance. Did we discuss that?
No, we didn't discuss that. Or did we?
Yeah. We should not choose activities in the mode of passion also. So that was just a trick, a little trick. Instead of ignorance, then we tend to choose the mode of passion. But no, Krishna's aim is at least come to the mode of goodness, and from there spring up to transcendence. So let's see the podium. So 3rd place is Vikyat. 2nd is Pray the winner. And the first one is Potats. Who is this Potats?
That's me, Shaurya.
Shaurya. Wonderful, Shaurya.
And
Very
the funny
nice.
part is I got 7 out of 10 and Pray got 8 out of 10 and I still won.
Yeah.
And I got 9 out of 10 and I'm in 4th.
I got the last question right completely.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, it was a good thing though. Everyone learned a lot and it was fun. So it is just fun. But then we will solidify our learning by doing this. Okay. So any questions anybody has? Let me. Okay, so thank you all for joining. Thank you, Vikyat, for your questions. I like your questions very much. That means you're really understanding, trying to understand. And anybody has any questions, you can ask now. Otherwise, think about it throughout this week and note down whether you are in the mode of goodness or passion or ignorance. And then we can discuss again next week. Thank you for joining. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyascha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.